Now going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Bud Light paid Dylan Mulvaney $185,000. And we know this thanks to a breaking report from Steven Crowder and the Mug Club. Now, Steven Crowder is probably one of the fastest growing conservative commentators and entrepreneurs in media. And thanks to his subscription model, in which he is called and famously built up the brand around a mug club, and you do get a cool mug if you join, it's one of those instances where now he has a whole network of people who could either already be independent reporters, or nowadays anyone with a smartphone can become an independent reporter. And this has led to him breaking some of the largest stories of the year, including the Trans Manifesto out of Tennessee, which was covered up by the government for almost a year. Even after a request for the Freedom of Information Act, no one knew why this manifesto was being censored. Unlike every other instance where the manifesto was out in, 2 seconds? Yet he, not CNN, not Fox News, not any of these other huge companies, he broke the story, and his team broke the story. Quite literally making a dent in the universe, which is astonishing to see, and perhaps also gives you a little insight of what the mainstream media does or does not want us to do. And I can't but think, well, there's only 2 reasons why the mainstream media wouldn't break these stories first. Well, one is they don't have the resources to do it, which, no, that can't be it, because again, they have multi-millions of dollars, billions of dollars in funding behind them, and they are usually owned by even larger parent companies, so it's not a funding issue. 2, they don't want to. I mean, those are the only 2 options I can possibly comprehend. And now we have another instance where, again, Bud Light has the business blunder of the year. That award is locked in for them. I might have to send something to their former CIA operative, Brandon Whitworth, who's the CEO of the company now. It is an instance where they did this on April 1st, which is kind of funny in of itself. But again, this cliche, traditional frat boy brand, Americana brand, which Belgium owns now, is one of those instances where Lester Hireschild, who will go down in history as being one of the most brilliant, obvious sarcasm of course, marketing managers or directors in history, she thought the brand was too fratty. She said, hey, we're going to have a new brand ambassador, which, again, that's a very proven business model. A lot of marketing companies do that. They chose Dylan Mulvaney, who is a very famous trans activist who also celebrated 365 or whatever days of womanhood, in which many people were offended by a biological man doing very stereotypical women things, such as, well, even outlandish, unlogical things like prancing through the woods wearing high heels, which I did ask the female members of my family, that's not something women do. But Dylan claimed it was during one of Dylan's days of celebration of womanhood. So not only was that a controversy, but then the trans community there's controversy there because Dylan never got the surgery that many, or some of them say is a requirement to the transition. So even before they chose this individual, it was a controversial person. Although it didn't stop this individual from getting millions of dollars in contracts from companies like literally makeup companies. And Bud Light did this promo where they said, all right, we're going to plaster this person's face on a can and make some history. And they did make history. And by history, I mean they lost 40% of their sales in one of the months. Now, in Q2, they lost $400 million. And to clarify, on average, a weekly average, the Bud Light brand specifically is down 30% week over week by sales dollar amount. Now, by sales volume amount, it's usually down about 26% per week, with the other brands, including Budweiser, around 10%, and Michelob Ultra, around 5.8%. Those are the top 3 brands of the huge Anheuser-Busch InBev portfolio that have been affected most by this boycott. And again, Bud Light kept promising us, hey, it was just one can. It wasn't a campaign. It was all a mistake. You could trust us. Well, no, we actually can't, because they've lied time and time again. And it's only about 30 seconds, but it, of course, as the youth might say, it went viral. And before Steven says it, he actually types this out, and he says, quote, breaking, Mug Club Undercover obtains never-before-seen financial statement showing Bud Light paid Dylan Mulvaney $185,000 for a disastrous influencer campaign. And without further ado, I will play the clip.
This is an exclusive that was sent to us and we verified. You can bring this up. This is the document obtained by Mug Club Undercover, shows that the figure is much higher.
Wow.
Dylan Mulvaney was paid. There was one deposit there of $185,000 paid by Bud Light. $185,000. Yes, another man being paid more than WNBA star players. I know you're thinking, but
That's true.
And here's the issue. If it would have been successful, working in this industry, you don't pay $185,000 to an influencer if you don't plan to continue some kind of a campaign.
Right.
They were testing the waters. This would have become a national campaign if they thought it was going to work. This is an exclusive.
And again, it's one of those instances where we all suspected this, but thanks to the independent reporters at the Mug Club, now we know Bud Light, in fact, paid this person a astonishing amount of money. I mean, $185K is huge. Now, granted, the government will steal half of it when you have your income tax. I mean, not steal, they tax it. But nevertheless, that is a huge amount of money, which is perhaps, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I suppose in this case, a picture is worth $185,000, because I believe that is the extent to which the influencer got involved with the brand before there's a huge backlash. Now, this one clip that Steven put on the Twitter, or as 12 people call it X, got 1.6 million views and 9.8 thousand likes. And he also does show the screenshot where you see the line item on the Excel sheet, and it says Dylan Mulvaney, $185,000, which is astonishing. And it actually shows you Martha Stewart got $275,000, and a couple of other celebrities. Neil Patrick Harris got $240,000. Jeez Louise. Talk about an easy gig. And that specific picture by Steven got 1.6 thousand likes. And let's go to the comments and see how interesting they are. And unlike the post by Bud Light, these will not be censored, thankfully. Now, I'm looking down here. First comment is by Jonathan, and he says, quote, they paid $185K to lose $11 billion in market cap, unquote. Clown emoji face. That got 1.3 thousand likes. Ned Eulers says, quote, wait, I can get $200K for pretending to be a woman? I need to reevaluate my life choices, unquote. I got 389 likes. Matthew J. Show says, quote, imagine giving that dude $185K. That got 180 likes. Mike says, quote, that's the worst $185K they've ever spent, unquote, getting 335 likes. Let's see here. Someone by the name of ZNO says, quote, 5-step to torch your company. 1, find a mentally deranged man. 2, pay said man an absorbent amount of money. 3, instruct said man to showcase product. 4, leave a day for MSM to push story. 5, watch your business burn, unquote. That got 123 likes. Let's see here. The Hansford Institute says, quote, how bad do you feel if you're Neil Patrick Harris, one of the most talented and accomplished actors for a generation, and you're pulling not even 30% more than some Johnny come lately? Probably not very bad because it's still $250,000, unquote, getting 53 likes. Let's see here. And a couple articles showing you all the brands that Anheuser-Busch InBev owns, which again, they own about 40 brands, which is why no matter how bad this controversy is, they'll never go out of business because of this one controversy. Because again, Bud Light specifically, they have one brand out of their huge portfolio. That's down about 30% week over week sales dollar amount. But again, they have 40 other brands. And this boycott, and it's fascinating. Let me know in the comments if you're in another country that's affected by this or participating in the boycott. But a lot of the comments I noted, even internationally, there's a little bit of pushback, but it looks like the sales specifically in the US are down the most. And it is a global, huge company. Now let's go here. Jay says, quote, I want to applaud you and your Mug Club team for getting back to your roots, which is covering these topics and stories. I felt past 2 years you have drifted away from it, but this past 2 weeks have felt like classic Crowder, and we all originally started following, unquote, getting 38 likes. A brilliant meme. It's one of those instances in which you have someone riding a bicycle and put a rod or a little stick in the front wheel and they flip over. And it starts off with the guy riding the bicycle saying, quote, you know who's Friday now touch? And then the second meme is, our customers, am I right? And they put the stick and they fall over. And they had Bud Light, a case of Bud Light as the person's head. That got 90 likes. Let's see here. So this statement was definitely the opposite of a ratio. All the comments are, let's see here, overwhelmingly in support of Crowder and the team and roasting Bud Light, but perhaps not as roast. Oh, wait, see here. Yeah, they're all roasting Bud Light, though that is perhaps not as abhorrent as actually having to drink Bud Light. Just roast it. Yeah, I don't know. There's a kernel of an idea in there. But let me know in the comments, are you surprised that Dylan got $185,000 for a picture, and I think there's even one video? $185K. That is a lot of money. And I know a lot of companies spend billions of dollars on marketing. This perhaps is the worst ROI in business history, even worse than New Coke. So let me know, are you surprised this person got $185K? And again, if so, do you think this boycott will ever decrease or cease or even get better for Bud Light? As Manager 8 Ball would say for this situation, I would say the outlook for Bud Light, it's not so good. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in again today. Don't forget to take the time to subscribe. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November, so if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better and improve the quality. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight,